Well, many blessings to everyone. How are you guys doing today? I hope that you're doing really well. This is usually not the time that I record a video. It is about 8:15 p.m. here in New York, and probably some of you are sleeping. I know that we have viewers from all over the world, and so maybe you'll catch this tomorrow. But I had some time, and there was so much energy going on, and we're at the cusp of the new moon on the 30th, and I was here, so I felt inspired to connect and do a little share. There's so much going on, right? There's so much energy, there's so much activity around us. Are you guys feeling it? It's all really good, by the way. For the most part, so many people are awakening and just really riding the superhighway, the way I call it, of ascension. And I've noticed over the last week or two how the masculine is really stepping into, collectively into their power and their vulnerability, and just really stepping in and stepping out. And so that's really exciting. Some years ago, I wrote a book entitled Male Divine, Hide No More. And as an author, of channeled work, it's really rewarding, and it's really joyful to see that, a book that I wrote a couple of years ago is, the seeds of that book are finally stemming out and showing up, and so it's really wonderful to see and to witness. But of course that is happening, and many people, like I said, are awakening. And of course there's also a lot of the other side, politics and separation and this, that, and the other thing, which I don't like to give too much of my attention, and I actually don't like to talk too much about it, because heaven knows that enough people do. And while everyone is entitled to their own opinion, I try to be mindful of what I place my attention to, and I try my best to stay very neutral about certain topics in particular that may cause more opinions and or debate and separation. Give me a subject that brings the collective together, and I'll be happy to share. But if it's something that's going to bring about separation, then I'm not really interested. But we're in this time of newness. We'll go into Virgo, and we know that we are on this highway to ascension, and I feel like I want to say it's really time for us to step in there and claim our next level of ascension, and we can make that a mantra. I'm here, and I'm here to claim my next level of ascension. I'm asking for guidance and assistance and being able to move whatever obstacles or programming that I have or beliefs that are in any way obstructing or preventing me from getting to that next level of growth. And I'm here ready to release and to let go and surrender all of that to the universe, to the earth, so that I can become renewed in my newness, yes? And really, is it that simple? It is. Of course, it's easier said than done when there's so much going on around us, when we're being challenged. How do we stay in that place? I think it's really important that we honor those not so great moments as well. That if we are upset or feeling depressed or angry or whatever, that if we're aware of it, look, you can't stay there forever, but if you give yourself the grace to shout it and scream and yell and cry and curse or whatever it is that you need to do in order to feel better, I think that that's just as important, to be able to release, because it's not about making believe that everything is great and dandy because we're supposed to be these incredible ascended beings. We are, and yet we're also allowed as part of the human experience to express our emotions and acknowledge them. And so I think it's, again, important that we allow ourselves to do that, and not to put ourselves under the microscope to be perfect. And the word grace, I was just on the phone with someone I love very much. I don't know if they watch the videos, but you know who you are. And talking about the word grace. And ironically, we were both sort of synchronistically surrounded with the word grace. I actually on Facebook have a public page called Inspirational Notes by Blanca Bayer. And what I do is every day, or almost every day, I try to find, something that comes through me, a quote or just a phrase, a couple of sentences that hopefully are inspiring or uplifting or offer some guidance. And today's word was grace, And when I felt the channel come through, I was saying to this beloved that I was speaking to, it's almost like a bittersweet kind of word for me, because when I hear the word grace, just being in touch with everything that's alive and being grateful for everything that surrounds me and for the moments and the food, the deliciousness of it, and scent, all the five senses, and having people that we love in our lives, and having projects and causes and all of that is just so graceful, to be able to be conscious, to be awakened and awake through life. But the paradox is that there's also a sadness sometimes that comes, with being graceful, at least for me, in that I feel like I give so much love. I know I do. I'm known as the hug woman for the great hug that I give, and I do that because I want everybody to feel nurtured. I want everybody to feel the unconditional love, and I want them to know how special they are, and I want them to receive blessings. And so I love to give long hugs. And as part of my mission work, I do a lot of listening, and a lot of people come, and believe it or not, and I have so many who love me, so many who adore me and show me that in so many ways, students, but every once in a while I feel like I just want to be held, or I just want to be nurtured, just because I give so much. And so as I was thinking of the word grace, as it was shown to me this morning, I said, what a beautiful word. And yet I almost kind of felt that there was a little price to pay, the paradox of everything that we encounter or experience. I guess a good example of what I'm trying to say with the word grace and the paradox of it is, imagine yourself, going from where you are right now to all of a sudden winning $50 $50 million. That would be fabulous, right? But in that moment, you win the lotto and you suddenly have $50 million, your entire life has to change. Or hopefully it does, right? And alongside with that, fear of, needing to secure your house because people may stop by, tons of people to ask for money, donations, or businesses, right? And even abduction, kidnapping, because now all of a sudden you're on the news and everybody knows you have $50 million. And right there in that example, we could sort of see, like the high moment of, oh my God, I have $50 million and I could do whatever I want and all my worries are over financially and stability. And yet that other side is, but I have to worry, and that, concern of the people and having to have these boundaries and security around you. So I guess in a roundabout way, and this is life, the ebb and flow, as above, so below, but also, the rhythm of life, that it's not always this way and it shouldn't always be this way, balance. But we are the miracle makers. We are the ones that we're looking for, believe it or not. We already have that magic. And I'm all over the place today. I think that as we step in there to say that we're ready for the next level of ascension, we should also be very conscious of any programming that we have, and God, we have so much programming. Even when we have a spiritual awareness, there's programming around us, from the minute that we became conscious, 4, 3, 4, 5, don't do this, or, don't put your finger in your mouth, or that's not nice, and no, we do this, and we go there, and we eat that, and you're good, you're bad, all of these little things, these phrases, these patterns, these beliefs, these programs that, whether we are aware of it or not, dictate who we become. And from hearing that so much from well-intended family, friends, institutions around us, those thoughts, those words, whatever they were, have been programmed. Literally, imagine now your conscious being a recorder over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And it's well worth saying and over and over and over again because that is what happens, that even when we're trying to be conscious and setting an intention that is away from that kind of programming, we have to really work at consciously saying it again and saying it again and repeating it to ourselves again. And you need to imagine that what you're really doing is overriding those other programming thoughts and words and beliefs that are dormant perhaps, but still very much part of the subconscious, And so again, this is why, we may become frustrated when we're working on, say, bringing something into manifestation, and we spend some time and we do some rituals, and we're in a good place and we wonder, like, why isn't this happening? Well, it's not necessarily that you did anything wrong, or you didn't do a ritual right, or that you didn't say the right things, but I want you to stop and think a little bit about what I was just describing and saying, well, maybe it's not any of that. maybe it's that I just need to really override, and if we think of it as a recorder, and don't take the 10,000 that I said earlier literally, but we need to hear it more than once, we need to repeat it more than once. And whenever we find ourselves in literally in that negative place, if you catch yourself, put it in your hands and deposit it out into the universe, and now override it with a positive thought. And I'm serious, catch yourself in the moment and just give it back to the universe with the negative and replace it, because you are literally doing that. It's not just figuratively speaking, but you are erasing it and removing it from the subconscious and now replacing it with something much more wholesome, much more in alignment with where you wish to go or wish to be. Yes. And so these are some little thoughts that inspirations that I had to share on the, not eve, perhaps where you are, but just before the new moon. We know that that's a time of setting intentions and of new beginnings. Maybe you want to implement some of this sharing before the new moon. And seriously, make sure you make those deposits out, okay? Those withdrawals out into the earth and the universe. Cancel them out. And it's okay if you have a lot of those thoughts. Keep canceling them out and making redeposits. Yes? I know that I had to share all of this, so I hope it finds a home somewhere. I am sitting with the power animal, Archangel Michael. That's not right either. The Archangel Power Tarot cards. I don't use them often, but I felt that since we're heading into a new moon, I don't know, I just kind of gravitated to this. By the way, can you guys, because I know it's really dark in here, but can you guys see my new color? I have my hair. This is called rose gold. Can you see the little rose in it? I needed a change. And so, tell me if you can see the rose. Anyway, I'm going to pull a couple of power tarots for the new moon. And we have the Three of Raphael. I'll show it to you in a moment. I'm going to read it. Reasons to celebrate. A community of friends. Happy announcements regarding relationships or children. I hope that is so very true. My son Jonathan can use some great news. I feel community, as the card says here, gatherings, perhaps for the new moon, maybe you have a community or a tribe that you can gather, of course, of like minds, to set intentions, to do a celebration of the new moon. I'm just looking at the card because I want to see what I'm feeling with it. These are not cards that I use often, but having fun, I feel, and also being there for others. Some friends or someone in particular who may be needing a little support right now, or some company, I feel, but outdoors. I also feel outdoors in this card. Maybe for the new moon you want to step out and, like I said, do some kind of ceremony or a ritual, share it with friends or your tribe, and just have fun, just plain old fun. The Ten of Gabriel, ask your angels for helpful people to lighten your load. Working too many hours, trying too hard to please others. I feel being misunderstood here in this card. Perhaps somebody is not being too cooperative, I feel relationships in this card. If it's not relationships, it could be somebody very close or someone who's not listening, and I feel a sadness in the card, almost like you're so exhausted of trying to convey a message and being misunderstood or not being heard, actually. And I guess what I want to say is, well, lovingly detachment, not taking it personal, that this person obviously is not hearing you, but also perhaps needing to look at the relationship, whichever relationship it equates to, and see what it is that you're getting from it. Perhaps has already met the commitment or the contract that it was meant to, to satisfy. Disconnection, I feel here, not being heard, misunderstood, and a disconnection, almost like because of the lack of understanding or flow, the relationship is suffering. And the next card is solutions. Success that comes from objective compromise. Self-control and patience, forgiving and healing energy. Absolutely, I kind of feel like that's sort of connected to what I was just saying, finding a compromise, and maybe sometimes the compromise is just kind of letting it be and letting it go all at once, I feel not getting engaged here, acceptance of whatever it may be. Sometimes we become exhausted. I know I'm having a situation like that, trying to convey a message to, my point of view to someone who's not capable at this moment to hear me, or there's just a lack of, we just can't hear each other. And although it's frustrating and sad, you can lose a lot of energy and create almost a lot of damage if you keep, the solution sometimes is no solution. I don't know if that's making sense, but sometimes we just have to kind of put our sword down, or our efforts, and just say, okay, I get it. Like, it's okay. Yes? Ooh, let's pull another one. The 10 of Michaels, the situation has ended. And you are finally free. New opportunities for happiness will now follow. Put the past behind you. It was in reverse, so I want to say there may be something coming to an end. It's not quite there, but close. And a little bit of resistance, almost feeling like you need to hold on. And remember that we are entering, yet another new moon, which is, starting fresh. And so friendships, jobs, I feel relationships here. This is not even a relationships deck, but I definitely feel relationships in those last 3 cards. Yielding, look at the pose that she's in, almost yielding and, taking a bow, knowing that you tried your best, that perhaps whoever is involved in the situation may have tried their best as well, but just gracefully bowing out. Wow, there's that word, gracefully, being thankful for whatever you gained and learned from the experience. I'm gonna take one more. Nine of Gabriel. Stay determined. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Stay determined and move forward. Be prepared for any possible environmental activity. Okay. I'm going to show you the card. I feel moving here. Relocation, moving, somebody moving out. Can be connected again to the last 3 cards. moving, relocation, or some kind of other arrangement in perhaps in the living arrangements, you know. If you look at the card, he has a shovel in his hands, and although the card says environmental, that's not what I feel. I feel cutting new ground, you know, almost like building something new, starting fresh, you know, and almost like selecting or choosing a location, you know. Yeah, this is so speaking to me, these cards, by the way. And so I hope that they're speaking to you in some way too. Maybe I did the reading for myself, but yeah, yes. And so I'm gonna go through those real quick. Community, tribe, having fun, but being there for someone who may need some support or some guidance. Just good old fun, you know. The Ten of Gabriels, not being heard, not being understood. Remember to acknowledge those feelings, and more importantly, look to see why is that. Perhaps the contract of a person or a situation is no, you know, it's completed. Taking a bow, you know, taking a bow. I almost feel like these cards are very connected. You know, reminding yourself that there's no such thing as failure. That, you know, whenever we come to the end of something, if it didn't finish the way we thought it would, it doesn't mean that we failed. As long as we tried and, you know, we did the best we could, that's what is important. Solutions, you know, the solution may be something that we don't know, or no solution. In other words, bowing and knowing that it's done, and just allowing yourself to move to the next level, which is where this card comes. You know, the Nine of Gabriel, I feel relocation, starting fresh, breaking new ground, you know. Very interesting. I would love to hear from you guys how these cards and the reading spoke to you, if it did at all. I know that you guys share with me, not all of you, but most of you, some of you do, and I love it. I love it. You know, I love the community and the interaction, so please don't be shy. Leave us a message, a comment about how the reading read for you, or about the new moon and what I spoke about and shared earlier, grace being the word of the day here. So appreciative, of course, of always of the support. Thank you so much for tuning in and for the lovely messages that I receive, both on the community here and privately, and the beautiful people that I've met in sharing here on YouTube. So thank you so very much. And of course, if you love what you're experiencing, don't be shy, share it with friends as well. You know, it's a time where we really have to come together as tribes, as communities, to support each other and to get the word out. This is part of the new paradigm. You know, people are looking, seeking, and hungry for knowledge. And so I always say, if something is speaking to you and helping you, whether it's this or something else, why not share it? You know, just like you would a book or some program that you watch, right? When you like something, or a restaurant, we tell somebody about it. You know, this is food, nourishment. So if you're enjoying the channel or a particular video, why not send it to a friend and share the resources? Yes. Okay, well, happy new moon to you. I hope you guys have a fabulous Labor Day weekend, and I will be back soon. And of course, if there's any topics that you would like me to discuss, drop that in the comments as well. And I love you guys. always leave you with my love, with my light, and with my peace. And I love you. I'll see you guys soon.